Wait, she looks like... Is that Escoffier?
Escoffier? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I messed up your order.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far. Maybe the taste is a little off, but if you hadn't brought it up, I don't think I would have noticed.
But, please, you have to forgive me or Chef is gonna... Okay, I know. I'll kneel before you.
What the heck?
Get up, Monica! Can't you see that you're just making your customer feel more awkward? If you want forgiveness, then do what any self-respecting chef would do. Make the dish again. And this time, get it right. You cannot go begging your customer.
Savannah said that I'm not allowed back in the kitchen until I've corrected my mistake. But if I can't go back into...
That's some backwards logic. How can you fix your mistake without being allowed to cook? If this is what Fermat had to put up with, then no wonder he had a breakdown.
We apologize for interrupting your meal, sir.
It's fine. With my layman's palate, it's not like I can tell the difference anyway. I was actually quite enjoying my meal until she appeared out of nowhere and started apologizing. Gave me a bit of a fright, to be honest.
Oh, well, it's because Chef Savannah tasted a bit of the leftover soup from my pot and then threw me out of the kitchen.
Gosh, that's pretty strict. Has she always been that way? I don't recall things being like this when Escoffier was head chef here. I gotta say, you're all looking a little worse for wear these days.
I mean, Escoffier was strict too, but I think the difference is that her criticism was more constructive, so you knew what you did wrong and how to improve, and we all knew that it came from a good place. Chef Escoffier was hard on us because she truly wanted us to reach her level. But these days, whenever we make a mistake, we just get told to wake up, get your head in the game, or just do it again. And it's only gotten worse since word got out that Chef is...
Monica, you don't need to call me chef.
Yeah, but through no fault of your own, that banquet was a huge event.
Lumaline? What's that?
A new drug from the Fontaine Research Institute, produced from an extract of the Lumitoile. Apparently it sharpens the senses, so they used it to treat people with impaired responses to stimuli.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that. They found out you can use it as a flavor enhancer since it stimulates the taste buds. Makes things pretty addictive.
They also found that overuse can have mood-altering effects, and even lead to nerve damage. So it quickly ended up on the guards' list. Unfortunately, however, some food products containing the additive had already made it to the market by the time the guards banned it from the restaurant.
Everyone knows that in all likelihood, someone probably just purchased a batch of but you took all the blame. We all know why. You just didn't want to see this turn into a place where tensions are constantly running high, because everyone's suspicious of each other all the time. And now look at you, a fry chef in the Fleuve Cendre.
What are you trying to say? Sure, the Spina's Tavern is no Hotel de Boer, but come on. It's not that bad, is it?
Oh, the Fleuve Cendre, you say? Great. That's where I'm dining from now on.
Monica, I'm very happy with my current job. And there's no changing the past. We just have to let bygones be bygones. Besides, at the end of the day, I was the head chef, regardless of whose mistake it was. Ultimately...
If only Savannah was half the boss you were.
I'm sorry? Do you have a problem with my conduct as head chef?
No, chef.
So you do remember who's boss? Escoffier? I thought you'd left this place for good. What are you doing back here?
What happened to you, Savannah? Why are you acting like this?
You made me the head chef and gave up your right to tell me how to do my job. You're not the boss here anymore. So stop acting like you own the...
Whoa. Sounds like someone has a chip on her shoulder.
Oh, Savannah! My God, have you grown a temper since I last saw you? Have you put even half the amount of energy into improving your cooking skills, or are you still using the Pluie Lotus as an off-brand markup, thinking no one can tell the difference?
That's none of your business!
What happened to not storming in and raising hell?
Ho ho! I was not expecting to see something this spicy as soon as Escoffier returned.
Huh? Fan Asian?
Aye, miladies. Might I make a humble suggestion? Given that we have ourselves a tête-à-tête between chefs at the Hôtel de Bord, I dare say it would be de rigueur to settle this the traditional way.
The traditional way? That can only mean one thing.
That's right! I'm talking, of course, about the tradition established by Modeste himself. The cooking contest!
According to legend, The founders of Hotel de Boer, Modeste and Savelli, used this method to resolve all of their disputes. Everything from petty arguments over next week's menu to disagreements over the strategic direction of the restaurant. The cooking contest would decide who had the final say.
Huh. Sounds like they had a lot of free time on their hands.
Ah, well, it might sound that way to us. But in fact, the cooking contest played an enormous role in motivating chefs, and indeed, the reintroduction of this institution in recent years has surely been
Reintroduction? Someone brought it back? Who?
What say you, Escoffier? Surely you of all people won't back down from this challenge. It was you who put the rule in place, after all.
Sure, I reinstated it, but I'm not a chef at Hotel de Boer anymore. Isn't this bending the rules a little?
I see no issue as long as both sides agree to the terms. We could simply treat it as an exhibition of sorts. Savannah, any objection?
Exhibition. If we're going to battle it out, let's put it all on the line. If I lose, it's up to you what happens to me.
I don't want anything to happen to you.
But if you lose, you hand over the Codex de Boer to me.
What? The Codex de Boer?
Only the legendary handbook written by the original head chef Modeste. It contains all his secret recipes, including it's the greatest treasure in Fontaine's culinary world. And only the present and former head chefs of the Hotel de Boer have the right to read it.
Present and former? Wait, but that already includes Savannah, though.
What do you want that old thing for? You have your own copy, don't you?
Don't take me for a fool. You know perfectly well what I mean. I want your copy. The original version. The one you took with you when you left us.
I'm sorry, I must be missing something. You know, there's no difference between the original and the copy, right? They contain the exact same recipes.
Stop trying to change the topic. What's wrong, Escoffier? Scared you're gonna lose to me? Or
Savannah, you may remember that we gave her the original as a parting gift, to thank Escoffier for her years of service. Asking for it back feels a little,
Oh, I'm sure it won't be an issue, as long as both sides agree to the terms. Those were your words, and as for the contest itself, let's make it a bake-off. Gâteau de Boer, per the recipe in the Codex. Well, Escoffier, you against me. Are you in or out?
You sound surprisingly confident. All right then, let's see how much you've actually grown. I hope you surprise me, Savannah. I'd hate to find out that all you've learned after this long is how to chew people's heads off.
Believe me, I'll show you.
Escoffier, are you sure this is a good idea? You accepted her terms a little hastily.
Oh, it'll be fine. Let's head back to the Fleuve Cendres so I can get prepping.
So, this whole bake-off thing kind of came out of nowhere.
Well, I got a sense that she's holding something back.
Huh? Holding back? Sure didn't sound that way to Paimon.
Escoffier only picked up on it because she's the same way.
That's patently false, at least where your macarons are concerned. I've been nothing but truthful with you about the disgraceful amount of sugar you use.
Okay. That's one case where you can keep your thoughts to yourself.
Oh, that? Well, it's not so much a recipe book as a diary of Modeste's adventures. Back in the day, he and his good friend Savelli explored far and wide, partly adventuring, partly looking for new ingredients and developing new recipes. Their creations had an enormous influence on the course of Fontaine cuisine, turning it into a much more, for instance, legend. So rare was the ingredient that they could never make more than 16 slices of the cake per day. But everyone who tried it claimed that it was Modeste and Savelli went on to found the original Hôtel de Bourg, which catapulted them to stardom in Fontaine's culinary world, especially Modeste. He was hailed as a once-in-a-generation genius. And
Paimon's heard this kind of story before.
what? No, of course not. Cooking is a constantly evolving art form. How could any restaurant survive if they only served food that was popular last century? Anyway, never mind centuries. Savelli and Modeste parted ways not even 10 years after their rise to fame. And that was it. The end of the Hôtel de Bourg's heyday. Even then, it still took numerous relocations and changes of management before we finally ended up with Vanigem and the restaurant we have today.
Oh! So the Codex really isn't all that, then. Paimon figured it was like one of those mystical books they have in Liwe's martial arts novels.
Yes, well, that's fiction, and this is reality. You can't...
Case in point. Even the Gâteau de Bourg they sell now is actually Escoffier's
Wait, really? Why though?
It did, but like I said, it's the dusty old book now, and the records aren't as legible as they once were. Not to mention that there's no way of finding the secret ingredient Modeste wrote about. So, reimagination is right. I consulted some historical records and took what I could from the Codex. As for why we gave it the same name and kept the tradition of only selling...
Oh! Huh.
Hey now, it might not be the original Gâteau de Bourg. Just think, if the original truly was the perfect cake you're imagining it to be, there's no way the recipe would have been lost to history.
Anyway, before I left my role as head chef, I made a copy of all the recipes from the Codex, including my own improved versions, and turned them...
So why is she so interested in the original copy? Could it be a symbolic thing?
Well, it was clearly precious enough to give to Escoffier as a parting gift. Meanwhile, Savannah only got a copy. Maybe from her point of view, it's like management doesn't truly see her as being worthy of the role.
You think so? The only thing is, it was her suggestion to gift me the original in the first place. Well, a joint decision by her and Vanigem.
What? Huh. Guess she's had a major change of heart since she became head chef.
Who knows? We could speculate forever. Better to just let our gâteau do the talking. It means vesting her in this bake-off, and then getting her to explain however much she's changed since we worked together. I believe that she still has her chef's pride.
Well, I'm confident that you and your spatula can get justice for Froment.
Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Gâteau de Bourg is very complicated to make. Usually, it takes 3 chefs working in tandem to cover everything. Now, if I had to push it, I could probably do the work of 3 chefs myself. But I'd prefer to play it safe if I can find a couple of assistants in time.
Well, that's easy. The 3 of us are veterans in the kitchen. You just need to pick 2 of us.
Well, I have heard the Traveler is an accomplished cook, as well as a warrior. But be warned, I will hold you to exceptionally high standards. Think you're up to...
Oh, count me in too. I've spent weeks perfecting my macarons after your... Even if it means competing against the Traveler, so be it.
Confident. I like it. Alright, let's...
I've always called it chopping stuff up, not mise en place. But it's basically the same thing, right?
Oh, Navia. The difference in your case is that mise en place is chopping stuff up without... Looks like you found that easier than I expected.
Yeah, thankfully it was pretty straightforward in the end. You made it sound like we'd be carving statues out of fruits or something.
Well, brace yourself, because the next step is anything but straightforward. I'll be a kind of special food processor I got the Fontaine Research Institute to make for me. It uses cold temperature extraction to isolate the essence of cooking ingredients, which can then be used to flavor dishes more precisely. But this isn't exactly standard kitchen equipment, so that probably didn't make a whole lot of sense. Let me give you a demonstration.
Custom-made equipment from the Fontaine Research Institute, huh? That's some pretty high-tech food prep. Carmen's never used anything this weird before. Cool! Not weird.
Bon appetit! Off to the freezer! Attack the frosting! And done. These are the flavor compounds extracted from our ingredients. I processed all the fruit you chopped up earlier.
Wow! Even the smell is so much more...
Absolutely not! Throwing everything in at once will ruin the balance of flavors. We have to go slowly and carefully to calibrate the exact flavor we want. I'll demonstrate again. Now, watch closely. Slowly and carefully. Not a drop too much, and not a drop too little. That didn't... And voila! Now it's your turn. Not terrible. Considering this was everyone's first time blending flavor extracts, it could have been worse. But the Traveler's work was surprisingly good. Are you sure you've never done this before? You got almost perfect results on your first try. That goes without saying. Still, credit where credit's due. You did well. Alright, now for the part I've been looking forward to. I want each of you to cook something from the Hotel du Bois. That's right. How's it going? Have you... Look at that! With the grace of a snow-winged goose, as I like to say.
Pretty good, right? Not to brag or anything, but Paimon's a bit of a connoisseur when it comes to la food.
6 points.
What? Oh, well, fair enough. Paimon doesn't cook all that often, so as long as it's a pass.
That's 6 out of 100.
What?
You say you're a connoisseur, but it's quite clear from this dish that you have far more experience consuming food than creating it. By that logic, I suppose you think listening to Lady Farina on repeat every day would make you an opera singer.
Aww.
Me next! I'll have you know that this batch of macarons has 2 whole tablespoons left.
So you went from 12 tablespoons to 10? Well, it's nice to know you actually measured it out. Because it takes...
Aw.
Now to the final dish.
So,
This is our last hope.
8 points.
darn. That's barely higher than what we got.
Not exactly. The color is spot on. Beautiful aroma. Excellent presentation. I have to give this one 8 points out of 10. Maybe even 9 points.
Huh? How did you pull that off?
Don't get me wrong. There's room for improvement. But still, this is clearly the work of an accomplished chef. I can tell that you've put many hours of work into honing your skills in the kitchen. I can really taste the grace of the snow-winged goose in this dish.
Hey, you made that last part up! No way!
Well, it looks like I lost fair and square.
But if it takes 3 chefs, that still leaves 1 slot remaining. Maybe Paimon and Navi...
Chef Escoffier!
Oh, it's Hilaire! What brings you here?
I heard the news about the cooking contest.
And you think...
Oh, no, I know I'm not there yet. It's actually my dad who wanted to help.
Firma, last I heard, you could barely get out of bed.
Chef Escoffier, Navia, Traveler, I've had enough of sitting around at home while you run yourselves ragged. If you let me, I'd like...
Yeah, I was gonna...
The fact is, I'm a fine chef.
Firma, have you even set foot in a kitchen since leaving Hotel de...
I have not, but I'm fully rested now. Huh? That's strange. Why are my hands shaking?
What do you call this, Firma?
I...
Do it again! Again! Again!
I...
Hopeless. Get out of my kitchen yesterday.
Dad! What's wrong?
I don't understand. I was feeling so much better, and then Will I never be able to work in a kitchen again?
Dad, talk to me. What?
I think the real issue here is not physical exhaustion, but Psychological trauma?
Monica, when did you get here?
Probably because you were all concentrated. But anyway, I'm so sorry. If only I'd known how serious your situation was.
You have nothing to apologize for, Monica. During those long nights of redoing every order, you were the only person who looked out for me.
Oh, come on. All I did was make you some tea. I doubt it was much help. Savannah was so...
She sounds like the worst. All right.
She's been getting harsher and harsher on us ever since she heard about Escoffier's new role in the Fleuve Cendre. Seems like no matter what we make, she'll find something wrong with it.
What is this? It looks like a dog's been at it! In the trash now!
Then she orders us to redo the dish again and again, but we never know what's going to make her happy.
Do it again! Do it again! Do it again!
Every time you remake it, you just get another earful from her.
Either straighten yourself out, or get out of my kitchen!
So now, it seems like just picking up a kitchen utensil gives me...
Oh, man.
The more I want to get it perfect, the more my hands shake, and the more scared I am of making another mistake.
How can you give up so easily, Firma? You weren't... And even under Savannah, you talk about working late into the night trying to perfect your dishes. That says to me that...
I don't know what's come over me. When I think back, I just remember feeling like my heart and my hands were growing heavier and heavier as the shift went on. Maybe Savannah was right. Maybe I am just hopeless at this.
Dad.
I see. Well, it sounds like there are some deep issues at work here. Ones that won't be resolved by merely seeking I will win this contest, and after that, I encourage you to approach Savannah and talk this out.
But what if you can't find another assistant in time? Clearly, I'm in no state to help out.
You think being one person short will ruin my chances? Let's not forget, I taught you and her everything you know. Even if I had to go it alone, I would present the perfect gâteau.
Oh, well, Paimon and Nadia will still keep practicing.
And so will I.
Yeah! And if worse comes to worse, we can always get the Spina di Rosula to put out an emergency call for chefs.
Actually, I thought maybe I could help.
What? Why didn't you say so?
I was going to, but then, well...
You do this for us?
Alright, fine by me. But aren't you still working for Savannah?
I know, but it's alright. I've made up my mind. With the way... I'm done with sucking it up. It's time to try and turn things around. If this cooking contest can get Savannah to see the error of her ways, then I'm sure she'll forgive me for this.
Well, Paimon didn't think we'd be poaching for...
Great! Then Spina sponsored?
Well, yeah! Feast, feast, feast!
Alright, if you insist, then prepare for some of the finest food if you're alive. That's not a bad...
That was a dream come true. Paimon never knew Fontanian cuisine could be this good.
Why, Savannah? Why? Oh, nothing. I was just flicking through the original Codex de Boer. I wanted to see if there was anything I'm missing. Something I hadn't noticed before. But I can't find anything. It's just some hastily scribbled recipes, and the copy I gave her not only has all the recipes in full, but even includes my own private tips and notes from years of experience. Yeah, maybe. Still, we were. She was a little shy. Those qualities are why I recommended her to replace me as head chef. I never imagined for 1 second that she'd cause Fiamat. Well, I mean, and the idea that she turned out like... Yes, with his good friend and co-founder of the Hotel de Bourg, Savelli. The story goes that after Modeste unveiled his Gâteau de Bourg and was hailed as a culinary genius, he was admired and adored by all. But his newfound fame slowly drove him and Savelli apart. Unlike Modeste, whose every new creation was an instant hit, Savelli seemed to face setbacks every turn. Doors that would swing wide open for Modeste would shut in Savelli's face. And with Modeste being whisked off to all manner of functions by his celebrity friends, people started gossiping about Savelli, and their relationship between the two gradually soured. Everything came to an abrupt end when Modeste, still in the prime of his life and still hailed as a genius, and that was it. They neither had a decisive split, nor got the chance to properly reconcile. One rumor had it that Savelli actually killed Modeste out of jealousy, even as the latter was hoping to make amends. Unlikely. It's a popular theory, but there's no real basis for it. At least there are no records of Savelli ever being convicted of a crime. Still, beyond a point, there's no way of knowing what truly happened in the past. All we can do, and that's why I have to win this contest tomorrow, then get the truth about everything that's been going on, even if it means cracking her up.
Really? Well,